Okay, hey guys, I'm back. Sorry, something just happened there. I want to share the new moon energies for July 12/13. It's Thursday, July 12th today. We're really in this belt of this intense eclipse new moon portal, I guess you could say. And so these are always like gateways, heightened gateways for us to really dig deep and sort of shed any shadows, any aspects of ourselves that we've been in denial of or that we're not wanting to look at, and to honor them and love them and let them go, release them by really honoring our highest desired manifestation and letting ourselves peel back those layers and open up to receive that which we're desiring to receive, desiring to see in the world ultimately. And really what I'm feeling is an opening in our collective awareness. And so there's this real sudden shift of integrity powering down onto the earth, like all the ages of earthwork being done by beings. And now that new grid, that new energy is really expanding into the mass collective. So we're seeing a kind of redefining of our nature, redefining of how we perceive ourselves in this reality, and of course, how we create. And this is really coming from a pure heart space of acknowledging our kind of infinite connection to all that is, and that infinite portal that we're merging with, in order to yoke that infinite connection from within, and that's what we express, that's what we create. So we're really creating and infusing our creative potential with the infinite, with infinite intelligence, and rather than, again, the limited worldview, the I want to say empirical worldview, this sort of like measuring, and this, which you can imagine at any time we're trying to fix or contain, we're actually limiting creative potential. So in my experience, it is visceral. It's a feeling of this infinite yoking from within self, but connected to the infinite awareness, channeling that through the voice, if we're speaking or singing or creating whatever, maybe through our bodies. A lot of us, it's going to be multiple channels of expression, and ultimately knowing that we're coming from that infinite space of love and light, and not allowing other people's energy streams to necessarily pull us out of that infinite peaceful state, that rested state that practices like our meditation, our yoga, or any of our energy work can ultimately help us connect to that space and yoke it. And the more that we yoke it, that really does take over our lives. And so we're more aware of the collective energies, the universal energies, and we can, in a sense, live there and allow that reality to manifest through us. So this portal is a very expansive and potent portal of creation for creators, conscious creators that have worked through a lot of their lineage and broken through the patterns of their ancestors, their family lineage, and their own genetics, and also their own personal karmic imprint. So that's like soul contracts and stuff like that, that our own beingness will create to help us expunge or purge certain energy frequencies from a higher purpose, that we're here in union with one another. So every aspect of ourselves is ultimately teaching one another greater aspects of ourself. And wherever we're projecting our own unconscious onto other, we're still going to have a lot of conflict inside ourselves, and that will be projected onto the other until we find compassion and forgive ourselves for creating that projection in the first place. And that's ultimately how we can harmonize from an empathic point of view, harmonize our own self with other, and at the same time be guided continuously. Because often, in my experience anyway, shedding those weights, even though they can be uncomfortable, once they're shed, we do feel liberated. I am experiencing this in a very tangible way, this sense of freedom and liberation and total surrender and kind of protective divine energy, being surrounded and guided by that protected divine energy. And not to say that there aren't energy challenges, or, but the thing is, you realize that you are one with your reality, so you're always working within your own consciousness, because you know that's all there is, right? So any distortion or conflict in within our consciousness, it's within our own self that we harmonize that conflict so that we can see a better projection. The more detached we can be from our own thought and emotion, the more clear channels we can become. But again, there's a lot of body work, energy work, and often quite profound emotional healing that will incur and take place in various forms in various relationships across our lives. Because again, the journey is infinite on a soul level. So we might as well just keep practicing and keep being kind to ourselves, right? Because to me anyway, that's a big part of the journey, was just this real deepening of self-love. And because I knew that my own self-love was the self for all and was my greatest potential of reflecting back whatever, every time I surrender in various life cycles, surrender my life path to a divine force and the will of, God or all that is or whatever. And then as those cycles have transpired, it's a deepening conscious learning that can be shared, right? And that's part of the being of service and observing all situations that occur in my life as my own creation to help deduce and shine light for others. So this portal is really about higher manifestation for my own self, community, for all to love, for the Fearless Life Tribe, everyone I've ever met, come across. We are really one with all, and yet the more we can integrate and find peace only within our own heart. Remember that it can't be conditional to what other people do for us. We have to find peace inside our own heart. So I wish you well on that journey. And if you want to get in touch, feel free. If you want to leave a comment, feel free. But again, I really permission you to drop into some deep self-care, some deep self-love, and maybe even hanging out with people that you love and sharing something kind of open and vulnerable, and even facing conflict if you need to. Otherwise, have a glorious day. I hope that was useful to you, or maybe even entertaining. I don't know. It's just what comes from my heart whenever I'm guided to press record and stream live for you guys here on YouTube. So I gotta go. I got another sesh. I hope you have a glorious eclipse and a glorious new moon. Remember, it's always a portal for our getting clearer and clearer about our intention and really embodying our kind of quantum field. So I wish you well on the journey, guys. Peace, peace, peace. Namaste.